So that's it. I'm going to be a great mercenary just like Captain Gerald.
Ha! You skipped right to the conclusion. That's exactly what Gerald would do.
I know. I picked that up from him too.
That might not be the finest trait of his to emulate. In the end, if you want to join the Knights of Ceres, it comes down to combat skill. Regardless, I'm happy to hear you say all this.
Why's that?
I've strived to become a knight at the level of Captain Gerald. But I'm an old man. I've come to accept that I will never be his match.
No, don't say that. You can't give up.
No, it's quite all right. I know myself and what I'm capable of. But you're still young. Youth is a weapon of the utmost power. Infinite possibility. We are both inspired by Captain Gerald. So I hereby bequeath to you my lofty ambitions.
That's... wow. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
No need to cry, Leone. I'm relieved. My dream is in good hands with you. Captain Gerald is looking down proudly on you, I'm sure. Will you carry on his legacy?
Of course I will. Definitely.
Leone, do you remember the story I told you once about what happened at the inn?
The hatchet throwing? Sure, I remember. Why?
Gerald ran up quite a tab with all his drinking, and he left without paying. Now his debt is due. And, as you have declared that you'll carry on his legacy, you see where I'm going with this.
Wait, what? That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me either. I don't drink. Even so, all this time, I've been paying it back little by little. And it's not just that one place. He owes money in towns all over Fodlan. I haven't been able to step into a tavern anywhere without being badgered for payment. Ugh, so exhausting. But now, I can say that the debts are for you to cover. You're still young, so I'm sure you'll manage in time. Thank you, Leone!
Hold on, that's a joke, right? Hey, get back here! Take your lofty ambitions back! I don't want your stupid debts! Oh, it's Sedith. I'd better slip away before he...
Ah, I see you are indulging in a bit of reading. You are fond of books, I take it?
Yes, reading's one of my favorite pastimes. I was just finishing up, actually, so I think I'll...
That is most fortuitous.
Fortuitous? How do you figure?
Come with me. I have a story to share with you. Once upon a time, deep in the cold mountains, there lived a lazy fox and an industrious squirrel. The squirrel worked tirelessly all day long, while the fox did nothing but lounge around and play. When autumn came, the squirrel hurriedly gathered up acorns for the winter. But the fox continued to play without a care. A biting winter fell upon the land. The mountains, caked in snow, concealed all nourishment from sight. The hungry fox went to the squirrel's dwelling, but the squirrel had locked up tight and gone to sleep. Every so often, the squirrel would wake, enjoy a nibble of an acorn, and then return to an easy slumber. The fox, on the other hand, with nowhere else to turn, was forced to scrounge for food in the bitter cold of the forest. Forlorn and hungry, he wandered in solitude all through the winter, until spring came once more. And so it is to this very day that foxes are denied the comforts of hibernation.
Ah, I really learned something about foxes. I read lots of fairy tales like that when I was little. But the lazy fox and the industrious squirrel, huh? That one I don't think I've heard before.
That is not surprising, considering I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it?
I did. When Flane was young, she loved fairy tales more than anything. I would read them to her often. This one, however, is a more recent creation. I wrote it for the benefit of the children in the monastery. So, what do you think? I'm curious to hear what sort of impression it made on you.
It's so cute!
You found it to be cute?
I can just see it now. You writing fairy tales for your little sister. That's just the cutest thing. Honestly, to me, you usually come across as stern and overly perceptive. But now I know you have a sweet side too. I feel like I'm seeing you in a whole new light.
That is not what I was hoping to hear.
Hello again, Sedith. Oh, full basket. Big catch?
Indeed. Thanks to you, I now know all about the proper use of bait.
Even so, that's quite the haul.
I have developed a few tricks of my own as well. In my enthusiasm, I may have gotten a little greedy.
Oh, yeah?
Once I started to catch fish, I began to pay very close attention to the number I had caught. I hear it is not uncommon for one to become a little preoccupied with that sort of thing. And when I recalled the prospect of having what I caught cooked for me, the challenge was too tempting to ignore. But alas, it seems I have gotten a little more preoccupied than is appropriate for my age.
Well, that's only natural. Seeing what you've already got just makes you curious how far you can take it.
It has made fishing an even richer experience for me. And for that, I must thank you.
Don't mention it. Actually, I should thank you too.
Oh?
Yeah. Used to be, I only ever fished for food. Lately, though, I've been coming here just to relax. I do still eat the fish, of course, but I appreciate fishing in a whole new way now.
Seems we have both made worthwhile discoveries. So which is it today? Hunger or relaxation?
I'd only planned to take it easy, but seeing all you've caught has definitely made me hungry.
I had planned to bring all of them to you regardless. Take as many as you please.
Hey, thanks. In that case, why don't we eat together? You can leave all the cooking to me.
Hello, Hilda.
Oh, Sedith, good day.
Is it?
Did I do something wrong?
Not to my knowledge. But I cannot help but notice that you no longer shy away when I speak to you.
You noticed that, huh? When you stare at me, I feel like you're peering into my soul.
And that no longer bothers you? Does that mean your conscience is finally clear?
Nah, I got used to it. I know you're not scary.
That's unfortunate. You really should do something to correct your lazy behavior.
Maybe that's true. I wouldn't want to be like the fox, forced to wander in the snow all winter.
I'm pleased to see you grasped the moral of the story.
Don't you think the squirrel was a little cold-hearted, though? He seems not to care about what happens to his friend, as long as he himself is happy.
You know, that is a valid point. I have no wish to encourage that attitude in children. Perhaps if the fox only survives thanks to the squirrel kindly sharing some of his acorns. How does that sound to you?
I like it okay. I'm sure the kids will admire that nice, compassionate squirrel.
Thank you for your insight. As it happens, I have some other stories that I wrote for Flame. Would you like to hear them?
You should make a book out of them. It's a shame that only Flane and I get to enjoy them.
What a fine idea! I will begin immediately. Though I feel such a book requires illustrations, and I have no artistic talent. Would you lend me a hand?
I think Ignatz might be a better choice, but I can probably manage. Not like they need to be terribly fancy.
I could use some more of your wisdom with regard to the content of the stories also.
That sounds like a pain, but I'm invested in this now. Let's do it!
Excellent! That's wonderful to hear. Let us produce the very best book we can, for the children's sake.
He looks so excited. I can't help but lend a hand.
Today was a great day for fishing, wasn't it?
It was, though I did lose to you in numbers.
You won on size, though. Some of these fish are huge. And it was you who caught this beauty.
It is a lovely specimen. The fins are rather like wings, and the scales are reminiscent of a lustrous rainbow. But I have heard this type of fish does not taste good.
It's a little bland, but it's not bad. You just need to fry it in oil to bring the flavor out. There are lots of little bones, too, so you need to be careful eating it.
You truly are an expert, Leonie. I would be delighted if you would cook for us again.
Happily. You know, once this war's over, I'll be able to make even more elaborate dishes. I'm sure none of it will compare to your wife's cooking, though.
Entirely different styles. I very much look forward to seeing what you come up with. Yet another reason to end this war swiftly.
I'm flattered, but that doesn't seem like a good motivation to fight.
On the contrary, it is better than the usual reasons. In the heat of battle, it is little details like a friend's cooking that I reach for to find my courage.
I have to say, I didn't expect that from you. You're always so serious. But I really value our fishing time, too. With all the chaos, it's great to have a way to relax.
I hope there will come a time when we can fish like this without worry, to our heart's content.
Hope's not enough. We need to build that future with our own hands.
Agreed. But even after that is done, you had better not rest idle. I've grown quite fond of your cooking.
Don't worry, there's plenty more where that came from. Speaking of, time to handle today's haul.
Let me lend you a hand. Ah, Hilda. Business in town?
Yes, I'm buying some art supplies.
Oh, to replenish what you used on our book, I presume. Allow me to compensate you.
No need. I use them for my own crafting and accessory making, too. By the way, your tales seem quite popular. I saw a big crowd of kids at the church.
Wonderful to hear. We made the right choice leaving it there.
I also heard a mother scolding her child by saying, if you keep lazing around, you'll turn into a fox. Though, as long as there's a friendly squirrel around, being a fox doesn't sound so bad.
That was not my intention. Perhaps the story was better off in its original form after all.
Anyway, I guess you've got something to keep you busy after the war. Originally, these stories were for Flayn, but now there are lots of people who love them. The kids are looking forward to your next release. You don't want to disappoint them.
I do wonder how appropriate it is to sit around and write children's books in an era of great change.
An era of great change. Isn't that exactly when kids need something to hold on to? They're the future of Folin, after all.
Astute observation. But if I am to continue in this trade, I will require more of your assistance.
Really? You're a successful author and you still want to use my lousy illustrations?
I need an artist who can appreciate the message, and who can draw pictures that resonate with children. Your art has a certain careless quality that I feel matches my work splendidly.
A careless quality? That doesn't sound like a compliment.
Did you not purchase those art supplies today in the hopes of continuing with this work?
Well, yes. I guess I can stick with it until the war is over.
Such lukewarm commitment. No matter. We can consider the post-war situation when we come to it.
I'm pretty fond of being a fox, but becoming a squirrel wouldn't be the worst thing. I'll admit, I like seeing Seth pour his heart into these stories.
What was that?
Didn't say a word. Let's get to work on that sequel. Professor, I asked to be on the sidelines. Why did you put me on the battlefield? You did protect me, so I guess I can't complain. Wait a second, you're hurt. Did that happen when you were defending me? Oh, I thought so. How could you be so reckless? Perhaps you'll say that that's what friends do. They look out for each other and save each other. But if I saw you getting attacked, I wouldn't risk my neck to save you. No, don't overestimate me. I don't know if I've told you this, Professor. I have a very impressive big brother. I'm not just saying that. He's strong, smart, nice. He's basically perfect. Before Claude turned up, people talked about him becoming the next leader of the Alliance. Don't mention that to Lawrence, by the way. He never shuts up about that kind of thing. Anyway, my parents have high expectations for my brother, and he almost always meets them. No one expects anything of me. If something's even a little bit difficult, I find someone else to do it for me. That's what I've done my whole life. Of course! I can't stand the idea of not meeting someone's expectations. I know how people react when that happens. From watching my brother, I mean. People force their expectations on you, and then if you fail, they look so disappointed. Whenever that happens to my poor brother, he looks just devastated. So don't expect anything of me, please. That way, I can't disappoint you. You're stubborn. Okay, fine. Keep believing in me. I do want to support you and support my friends. I just don't want to let you down.
Oh, Marianne, are you confessing again today?
No, I was waiting for you.
For me?
I wanted to apologize. You kept trying to encourage me, but I just avoided you in return.
No, I'm the one who should be sorry. I only wanted to give you some advice, but I ended up running you off.
Can I tell you something, Ash?
Of course.
You said that my crest is an extraordinary gift, but I don't agree with that at all. Don't people have more important qualities?
What do you mean?
Like, how much we help those around us. Or whether or not we can make other people smile. Sylvain says that a person's value is in their smile.
Sylvain, huh? He really can turn anything into a line.
I'm trying to be less negative. I've also realized that I should have a dream to pursue like you do. I think people who have something to work toward are more fulfilled. Yet here I am, living an empty life without a dream.
That still sounds kind of negative to me. What does being fulfilled even mean here, anyway? Are you saying that people without dreams live empty lives? I don't agree with that. When I was a kid, I was too busy worrying about my next meal to have a dream. Was my life empty then?
That's not what I mean at all. I just don't know... I don't know how to find my dream.
Hey, chin up. Maybe I can help. I'm sure we can come up with something for you in no time if we put our heads together.
You'll help me?
Absolutely. Unless, you don't want me to, of course.
No, I would appreciate that. I want to find something worth working toward. Together, with you, and with my head held high. Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. I believe I've mentioned that House Ordelia was, at one time, being controlled by people from the Empire. During that time, strange people, mages perhaps, came and performed rituals on all the youth within my family.
With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this, a shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass. It's not like what's been done to me can be undone. Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests. You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.